voices, so that we will remain down and our voices will remain very, very low, on the low key. And we will never rise up again to fight. They knew us, they studied us very well. They know we are the only people that can even liberate not just the indigenous people in Nigeria, but the whole of Africa. They know. And that is why this high conspiracy is on against us. Because how can you tell me that we fought civil war? We have fought before. In fact, it was a genocide against us, not even that we fought. How can you not sympathize with people like us? We have risen up again. And yet, you are still keeping quiet. We have made protests all over the world. And yet, they are still behaving as though we have not even, they don't even know that we exist. It's terrible. It's terrible. They come to think of the arrest, the kidnap of Nnamdi Kanu. How can a whole Britain turn a blind eye to their citizen, and not just their citizen? This is a renowned somebody that carries the support of over how many millions are we in Biafra? Over 70 million Biafrans. 70-something million. All over the world. And then you turn a blind eye and it's as though nothing happened. It's a conspiracy.
If you look at the flag, it's
it's a conspiracy. But no matter what they do, we are determined that we are ready to be free, and nobody can stop us. We cannot be stopped.
Yeah, the flag shows this flag shows Africa. Biafra is the light of Africa.
Yes, we are.
That's why, because even if you look at what Nnamdi Kanu was saying before he got arrested, he was saying Bantu, which is maybe 300 million, and maybe Igbo is the largest tribe of all the Bantu people. So because we haven't united or had our own Biafra or state, the rest of Africa hasn't seen this is how we have to move. They're all fractured into Zimbabwe, South Africa. You see what's going on in South Africa every other day. They're killing some black people over saying that they don't have power as indigenous people. But if we had Biafra, we say this is how you organize. Every village contributes this. This is a federation. So this was even if you don't take into account the Mali people we talked about, even if you see what's happening in Mali and West Africa, they're uniting into a federation. And you look at the Bantu people that Nnamdi Kanu was getting started with Biafra as the major bloc. So that's half of Africa right there. Then you have maybe, I said the Kanuri stretching to Sudan and Libya. They're hesitant and they have religious issues. They don't like, they still don't have their tradition. They don't know how to unite yet, but they're working on it. But I had them in some WhatsApp groups that they were peaceful. They were saying, okay, let's see how this goes. But even this Lake Chad issue, people are laughing at Tinubu for saying it. I think that was a smokescreen. That's never going to happen because Lake Chad is the base of the Kanem-Bornu Empire. So if you recharge the Lake Chad, people will start maybe the terrorism will end, but people will start leaving Nigeria. They'll start moving to Chad. They'll start creating their own empire again, their own country. They'll pull from Libya. They'll pull from Nigeria. They'll pull from Cameroon, and they'll say, "Let's make one our old country again." So if you recharge Lake Chad, that might be the end of Nigeria. Or Bornu state would leave. Some of the northeasterners would leave and say, "Give us our own country back." So I think that's a smokescreen. But even people don't know about Lake Chad issue. That is based on Kanem-Bornu, and because Kanem-Bornu was lost and they're poor now, the lake is empty. They're getting abused in Cameroon. They're fighting Fulani. They're fighting Hausa in the northeast. So they're not. That's what happened with Boko Haram. They said, "Let's take over Nigeria since we lost everything, our ancient empire." So even Nnamdi Kanu said Kanem-Bornu was one of those empires that need to be restored. But Kanuri is the one that I said that those are going to help us in the end. So that would cover all East Africa, because East Africa, you have Somali Empire, you have Ethiopian that has their own ethnic states, and they're always fighting. So it's if you start with the Kanem-Bornu, you could get all East Africa. You start with the Bantu, which Nnamdi Kanu was starting. You could cover most of Africa. The Mali and the Oduduwa is the only ones you kind of have to think about. But I have some Mali contacts, and if you guys probably don't know what's going on in Mali, this is my last point.
No, we don't know what's going on there.
Oh my God. Okay, check this out. You know Mali, the word Mali it's a kingdom, right? In the ancient empire?
Yes.
So they took that to start their state because they always wanted to unite back their old empire. So now they started. But Mali also means Mande or Manden. It's an ethnic group. So so what happened in Mali maybe 2 years ago? The military overthrew the president and they said no more political elections. And then they spread to their ethnic neighbors, the Burkina Faso, which has the Mali people, and then they spread to Guinea Conakry, and they started overthrowing all the political parties and saying we're just going to talk to the traditional leaders, and the military are going to work together with the traditional leaders, and we're going to have So now Burkina Faso, wow, you guys don't know this and you're Nigeria. Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso have all pulled. They've all been sanctioned by ECOWAS. They've all said we're going to create our own railroad to connect the old Mali Empire, and the surrounding countries, which used to be the Mali Empire. A lot of them are sanctioning them and saying, no, you can't do this. But the people on ground, even in Nigeria, the big country, don't know that they're pulling together ethnic federation, just like Biafra. And nobody knows. And ECOWAS is suing them and saying, no, you can't do this. African Union is suing them. The managers.
Who are there? They are crazy. They are all managers to Europe.
Mm-hmm. And Russia.
They are all prepared.
Russia is fighting the other United Nations superpowers, France and USA and Britain. Exactly. Mali kicked out France and Russia said, we're going to support you. So now what do we have here? We have a nuclear superpower supporting a ethnic federation in West Africa.
Exactly.
So we have people there. So now West Africa's ECOWAS is falling apart into ethnic federation, and nobody knows about this. So I think the other brother wanted to speak, so I'll rest my mic. But
let him go.
You might have heard of the Mali Federation. It's happening. You could look at it. Mali, Guinea. Have you never heard of this at all?
I've never heard this. I just knew that an African country took over their government and sacked French, and I was happy about that because it's a good beginning. But I didn't know that they are going this extent of going back to their Malian empire. That's a beautiful story and beautiful news. I'm just hearing from you this morning.
See, that's Africa. This is Africa. See the media. Look at it. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea. And they tried to overthrow Guinea-Bissau. They tried to overthrow Sierra Leone. But then they did these guys aren't budging. So I said, if we can activate... They were supposed to have a federation from Ivory Coast to Guinea with Liberia and Sierra Leone, federating earlier based on the tribes. But instead they had a civil war. The West... Igbo Americans came there and they started setting up their power structures. So we have to activate that federation too, I think, in time. There's a Guinea, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast. We have Biafrans there that could say this is the move. We have to federate based on ethnic groups. We already have indigenous people of Biafra there. It's only about protesting or trying to say we need to do business. Because they're 50 years old, this Mono River Union Federation. They've been playing politics with it, but they were supposed to be federating already. Supposed to have railroads to do the goods and travel. And we have our people there getting rich. But we haven't activated that Mono River Union. Now Mali is joining. Burkina Faso is joining with Guinea. It's very strategic. I think that's six countries. Guinea, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, Liberia, already in a federation. Now Mali, Burkina Faso overthrew their governments, Guinea too. So they should all be in one federation by now. Us as Biafrans, we just say this is our business. We want our security like this. Support us. So that's what I'm working on. But it's going to be under our unique emblems. I'll let Brother Simmons speak.
Yeah, Simmons, where is he? Simmons, what happened? Payne, are you still there? Hello, Payne. Let me invite him to speak. Payne, you can unmute your mic. Maybe he's not there, or he's away from his phone.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, the thing about Clubhouse, sometimes you could, if you have a phone. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
I think Simmons wanted to speak.
Okay. No. I'm just listening. In a few minutes, I will speak.
Every day in our market. You know, I over here we're setting up a market. My landlord, she goes to Ghana. She's a traditional chief over there, all the way from USA, returning. And we're setting up a markets. And I have to do a imbamuzo. I have to clean the roads. So sometimes, a lot of times I'm not available, but this is my day off out of the week. So things move slow with me. But I do imbamuzo here. We're setting up a market. She's taking a lead on that. But I'm trying to connect everything to what we're doing, and we all help each other. But every day is a market. So, yeah.